Far beyond the orbit of Neptune, beyond the last of the giant planets, beyond the region where sunlight feels warm, a small, icy world drifts in a realm of deep twilight. Out there, the sun is no more than an intensely bright star in a black sky. Temperatures hover near -220 degrees Celsius. Shadows stretch for miles. Time moves slowly. For most of the 20th century, this distant world marked the edge of our known solar system. This is Pluto, and is not what we thought it was. When Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto in 1930 at the Lowell Observatory, the world celebrated. For decades, astronomers had been searching for a mysterious Planet X, a body believed to be tugging gravitationally on Uranus and Neptune. Tombaugh's discovery seemed to confirm the prediction. A ninth planet had been found. Pluto was immediately elevated to planetary status. It entered textbooks. It entered classrooms. It entered culture. But the celebration masked a quiet problem. As telescopes improved, astronomers realized Pluto was far smaller than expected. It wasn't a giant outer planet, it was tiny. With a diameter of just 2,377 kilometers, Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon. Its mass is only about 1/500 that of Earth. It could not possibly account for the gravitational disturbances once attributed to Planet X. In fact, those disturbances turned out to be calculation errors. Pluto was not the massive outer sentinel we imagined. It was something else. Its orbit added to the mystery. Unlike the 8 major planets, which orbit in relatively circular paths along the same flat plane, Pluto's orbit is elongated and tilted by 17 degrees. At times, it crosses inside Neptune's orbit. From 1979 to 1999, Pluto was actually closer to the Sun than Neptune. And yet, the two worlds never collide. They are locked in a 3:2 orbital resonance. For every 3 orbits Neptune completes, Pluto completes 2. This precise gravitational relationship ensures they never approach dangerously close. It is a cosmic choreography billions of years in the making. Already, Pluto did not behave like the others. Then the solar system expanded. Beginning in the 1990s, astronomers started discovering more icy objects beyond Neptune. The Kuiper Belt, a vast disk of primordial debris left over from planetary formation, was real, and it was crowded. In 2005, the discovery of Eris intensified the debate. Eris appeared to be roughly the same size as Pluto, perhaps even slightly more massive. If Pluto was a planet, then Eris must be one too. And if Eris qualified, what about the dozens of other large Kuiper Belt objects? How many planets were there? In 2006, the International Astronomical Union stepped in. To be classified as a planet, an object must orbit the Sun, be spherical under its own gravity, and clear its orbital neighborhood. Pluto met the first 2 criteria, but not the third. It shares its region with countless icy bodies. Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet. The public reaction was intense. Many saw it as a demotion, even an insult. But scientifically, it was a recognition of a broader truth. Pluto is part of a vast population of similar worlds. It is not the oddball 9th planet. It is the prototype of an entirely new class. And then came the revelation that changed everything. For decades, Pluto had remained blurred, even in most powerful telescopes. Scientists assumed it was geologically dead, a frozen relic unchanged for billions of years. Then, in July 2015, the spacecraft New Horizons, launched by NASA, flew past Pluto after a 9-year journey across nearly 5 billion kilometers of space. What it saw defied expectations. Instead of a heavily cratered, inert surface, Pluto revealed towering mountains made of water ice. At Pluto's temperatures, water ice is as hard as rock. These mountains rise up to 4 kilometers high, comparable to major mountain ranges on Earth. Even more astonishing was the heart-shaped region dominating Pluto's surface. The western lobe of that heart, known as Sputnik Planitia, is a vast basin filled with nitrogen ice. It is smooth and nearly crater-free, indicating a surface younger than 10 million years, astonishingly recent on geological timescales. The plain is divided into polygonal cells tens of kilometers wide. These are convection cells, evidence that nitrogen ice is slowly overturning from below. Warm ice rises, cool ice sinks. The surface is being renewed. Pluto is geologically active. This was not supposed to happen. Small worlds lose heat quickly. They freeze solid. They become static. Yet Pluto appears to retain enough internal warmth to drive convection and possibly even cryovolcanism, icy volcanoes that erupt water, ammonia, or methane instead of lava. Some features suggest massive cryovolcanic domes may have formed in the past. Even more intriguing is evidence that Pluto may harbor a subsurface ocean. Measurements of Sputnik Planitia's position suggest a hidden mass anomaly beneath it, possibly a buried ocean of liquid water insulated by thick ice. An ocean beneath a world barely larger than our moon. Pluto also possesses a thin atmosphere composed primarily of nitrogen, with methane and carbon monoxide. When Pluto approaches perihelion, its closest point to the Sun, surface ices sublimate, forming a temporary atmosphere. As it recedes, the atmosphere can freeze and snow back onto the surface. This creates seasonal cycles that last decades. New Horizons also captured images of hazy blue layers in Pluto's atmosphere, created when sunlight breaks apart methane molecules, triggering complex chemical reactions. These reactions form tholins, organic compounds that settle onto the surface and give Pluto its reddish coloration. In the darkness beyond Neptune, chemistry thrives. Orbiting Pluto is Charon, so large relative to Pluto that the two bodies orbit a common center of gravity located in empty space between them. This makes them a true binary system. Charon is not passive. It displays enormous canyons stretching over 1,000 kilometers, some of the largest in the solar system. These fractures suggest that Charon once possessed internal heat, possibly even an ocean that later froze and expanded, cracking its crust. The Pluto-Charon system likely formed from a colossal impact early in the solar system's history, a violent collision that reshaped both worlds and created four additional small moons: Hydra, Nix, Kerberos, and Styx. This is not a simple object. It is a dynamic system with a complex history. And the deeper we look, the stranger it becomes. Pluto's rotation period is 6.4 Earth days and is tidally locked with Charon. Each always shows the same face to the other. Standing on Pluto's surface, Charon would hang motionless in the sky, never rising or setting. The sunlight at Pluto is faint but sharp. Shadows are crisp. The sky near the sun would appear bluish due to atmospheric scattering, fading to black overhead. It is alien but not lifeless. Pluto forces us to rethink what defines a world. It has weather. It has seasons. It has mountains, glaciers, and atmospheric chemistry. It may even have a hidden ocean. It did not shrink in 2006. Our definition did. Pluto represents a new frontier, a reminder that the solar system is more diverse and dynamic than we imagined. The Kuiper Belt is not an empty wasteland. It is a vast region filled with worlds that may be as complex and surprising as Pluto. When New Horizons sent its data back to Earth, each transmission took more than 4 hours to arrive. Line by line, image by image, Pluto revealed itself not as a frozen afterthought, but as a world that challenges our assumptions. Pluto is not a failed planet, is not a demoted relic. It is a frontier world, small, distant, and profoundly complex. Out there in the dim outskirts of the Sun's domain, Pluto continues its 248-year journey. It has completed only a fraction of one orbit since its discovery. Entire generations have lived and died while Pluto has barely moved along its path. And still it surprises us, because sometimes the most distant worlds are not the least important. Sometimes they are the ones that change everything.